Good morning, everyone, or whatever time it is you get to this video. And if it's not on the same day that I have in the title, it's all right. I mean, a lot of times we're just learning what the cards are teaching us, and other times we're in different time zones. And so just trust that when you make your way to any reader's video, if it resonates, it doesn't matter what day it is. So I'm using the Radiant Rider-Waite for this one, and this is Tuesday, May 30th, 2023, of course. And my question is, what do you guys need to know for today? Okay, this one's popping up. Ooh, 10 of Pentacles. Lots of abundance, oftentimes 3 generations of wealth. It's my major card for sustainability, or one of my major cards. King of Pentacles and Queen of Pentacles isn't bad either, but you can see it's ruled by Mercury and Virgo, so there's thinking along the lines of divine order with Virgo there, and what brings in more abundance, I suppose, mostly because, you know, and then too with Virgo, they're known for being hard workers, wanting to be of service. Oh, this one's definitely coming up. Oh, and then we have the Tower. Okay, so traditionally the Tower is ruled by Mars, but, you know, that was before we discovered the planet Uranus, so I tend to look at it as being both. But now, depends if it's upright or reversed. I'm going to read everything upright first, and then I'll explore some options as to if one or more, or all 3 were reversed, maybe even. Okay, so yeah, there's something coming through to work on, and that's perfectly fine. It might have to do with family issues. The 10 of Pentacles is also a card of inheritance. If there are disputes within the family, the Tower card could be the reason that, you know, that it's come through. Yeah, it could just sometimes be big changes that we didn't want. Now, it could also be like a family disgrace sometimes when you get these 2 cards together. But when I meditated years ago, especially with the majors, I spent a lot of time on each one of the majors because I saw them as evolutionary gateways. The Tower card came through to me as breaking free from our false self. And it may be one of the, well, it's not maybe, it always is, one of the hardest things to do. And it does take us through regret, nightmares. Mars in Gemini for the 9 of Swords is just this overabundance of mental energy that's just moving, where the mind won't stop. But sometimes the 9 of Swords comes through when it's the dark night of the soul going on. Yeah, it could just be some little low-level anxiety. Could be a little bit of grief coming through, which is also just a very human thing we all go through. And it's good to meet those feelings when they come up. And then, most of all, when healing is happening, when we're breaking free of the false self, you know, the part of ourselves that morphed into something other than who we really are when we were little, in order to be loved and received and approved of, and to have connection, because those are all real needs with a child. And especially if you were a kid that wasn't seen and heard and understood, or you have to be seen and heard in order to be understood. But, you know, most of us grew up, if you're anywhere near my age, most of us grew up with parents who were very much preoccupied with their, you know, earning a living probably, or doing their own thing. And we might have unconsciously picked up the message that, you're to be seen and not heard, or the other way around, or nothing at all, just go. Get out of here. Go outside and play. Well, times were different then, right? Yeah. Or turn on the TV, leave mommy alone, that kind of a thing. Yeah. I mean, I could talk for hours as to imagining what kids have gone through. So I'll just leave it at the deeper understanding for us to get is that when we grow up thinking that we need to be something other than ourselves, then we turn out trying to be either perfect or good or invulnerable, right? So those defenses have to break down, and that is often the dark night of the soul that will come in. So what I see here with these three cards, there's something to do with the generational, ancestral lineage, and I think it could go back more than 3 generations, or could go back more than yours, your parents, and your grandparents. It could, great grandparents, and we're breaking through those old patterns, and then it will bring up depression. Part of the healing process is to go through depression. It's very normal. It's something to be expected. And as long as you're not repressing those feelings, or maybe, there's some clinical depression, like a brain chemistry thing, that's entirely different than what I'm speaking to here. What I'm speaking to here is something that can be healed as long as we access the feelings and work through them and don't repress them anymore. But when we're little, we have to repress things because it's how we survive. So as adults, we're growing up and working through all those things. So let's play around with what if the Tower card had come through reverse with this set of 3. Well, that brings a little bit of, on some levels it can be just refusing to let go. Sometimes it's major transformation, because straight up it can feel like a very painful loss, but when it's reverse, sometimes you get the big transformation, and defenses are falling, everything's gone. You are your real self breaking through. But that can be upright or reversed. I tend to not hold really strong rules with this one. Because it all depends on the individual at the time, and we go through different times in our lives. So, but sometimes this card comes through, excuse me, when we're actually avoiding some type of a tragedy or some type of a loss. So, yeah. Now, if the 10 of Pentacles had been reversed, that could bring in those major issues with family members where there's actually a failure, actually a big separation within the family, and there's a major dispute if there's an inheritance type of a thing going on. So let me see if there's any. I'm trying to feel into this, especially with this combination here. Well, maybe on another level for someone out there, this 10 of Pentacles reverse could just have you feeling a little insecure because of the family conflicts. And maybe you're, ruminating back in the past, and because I'm noticing all the circles of the Pentacles, and when the card's straight up, it's about stability and sustainability, but when it's reversed, there would be the lack of sustainability, and that can leave us feeling very insecure. If you don't have parents or grandparents or someone to help you through the difficult times, it can be very scary. So there's that possibility there. Now, the 9 of Swords, if we were to reverse This one, oh, and always notice the roses on the blanket here to remind us about, new life that's always coming in. Interesting here, these little figures underneath. It's like, is that under the bed or on the side of the bed? Is she worried about, are they worried about nightmares? And sometimes the Nine of Swords is just a headache, right? You wake up with a little headache, it's like, oh, I didn't get enough water yesterday, or what the heck did I eat? I've got to be careful with what I ate, right? Like, we can't get away with eating dark chocolate much anymore because, well, I kind of knew that a long time ago, but more and more people are understanding it's because it's out on the news that there's lead. There's lead in dark chocolate, lead and cadmium and other toxins. So we have to be really careful. And that's true across the board, even with organic chocolate. I've only bought organic, and I learned that there's a, well, I don't eat any of it anymore, but yeah, and rather than get sued, I better not say the names of the brands that were the worst, even though they were organic. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, squirrel, chocolate squirrel. So the Nine of Swords, when it comes through reversed, sometimes it has to do with, and I'm reading these together now, it can be secrets, but I'm looking at this as like family secrets, and things have come out, and you're realizing that issues that you've had stem from your parents, and their issues stem from their parents, and it goes back and back and back, and everybody's like holding these feelings down, or they have been holding feelings down in the past, and you can't do the healing work when things are repressed. So I really like the cards upright because it brings everything, through. But, we're getting different messages in here. So the Nine of Swords reverse can be secrets. In combination with the Ten of Pentacles, we'd be talking about family secrets. And people hold on to secrets. I'm speaking to the Nine of Swords reverse now. People hold on to the secrets because they're afraid and ashamed. They're afraid they're going to be judged, when that's really not necessary to even feel that way, but a lot of people do. Now, sometimes the Nine of Swords comes through because, like, let's say we had the Seven of Swords in here, and I mean, there could be somebody trying to steal, and they're feeling guilty, right? Like if they're trying to get away with it. But with this Nine of Swords reversed, another way you can look at this too is to look at the images of, this kind of looks like a ladder here, right? Either way, upright or reversed, right? And I tend to look at the swords as just, the mind and the thoughts that can just keep going and going and going. So anyway, I think the best way to work the energy today is to not overthink, but do your best to feel how you feel about yourself at this time in your life, no matter what type of home you grew up in, no matter what your circumstances were. And today is one of those days where you can flip the script, is what I heard. Just flip the script. Turn all that, just let it go. Just let it all fall. Turn it around. Let it fall. Well, actually, let's leave this one upright. And say transformation with, so the Tower reverse, transformation from, transformation over old family lineage issues, no matter how far back it went and goes, and then just letting go, letting all those swords fall off of your head. No one needs to carry that anymore. Just let it all go. So, okay, well, that's it. I'm going to get this uploaded for you and be back soon. Bye. See you tomorrow.